The ongoing c.o.r.o.n.avirus pandemic is likely to cost Angela Merkel's Germany more than £700 billion, an economist has said, warning the impact would dwarf that of the 2008 financial crisis. Clement Fuest, president of the world-renowned Munich-based think tank the IFO Institute for Economic Research, offered his gloomy prognosis the day after Mrs. Merkel introduced tough new lockdown restrictions, including a ban on meetings of more than 2 people except for families. Out of more than 330,000 COVID-19 cases worldwide, Germany currently has 24,774 according to the latest World Health Organization figures published today, a rise of 3,311 on the day before, with 94 deaths. In a report published on Monday, the IFO said the pandemic would inflict hundreds of billions of euros worth of damage in the form of lost productivity, resulting in skyrocketing unemployment, and imposing massive strains on the state budget. He said, the costs are expected to exceed everything known in Germany. Mr. Fuest added, it is therefore worthwhile to use almost every conceivable amount for health policy measures. The goal must be to shorten the partial closure of the economy without compromising the fight against the epidemic. Strategies are needed that can link production resumption with further containment of the epidemic. He explained, if the economy comes to a standstill for 2 months, costs can range from €255 to €495 billion depending on the scenario. Economic output then shrinks by 7.2 to 11.2 percentage points in the year. The best-case scenario assumed economic output would decline to 59.6% for 2 months, recover to 79.8% in the 3rd month and finally reach 100% in the 4th month, the report argues. Mr. Fuest said, with 3 months of partial closure, the costs already reach €354 to €729 billion, which is a 10.0. IFO calculations suggest a single week's extension of the lockdown will cause additional costs of between €25 and €57 billion and therefore a decrease in growth of 0.7 to 1.6 percentage points. Therefore an extension from 1 to 2 months pushes costs up by up to €230 billion, or 6.5 percentage points of growth. Mr. Fuest added, the crisis also leads to massive upheavals on the job market. These dwarf the situation at the height of the financial crisis. In the various scenarios considered by the IFO, up to 1.4 million full-time jobs could be lost. Without taking into account extensive planned guarantees and potential Europe-wide rescue packages, public budgets will be burdened by an additional €200 billion, Mr. Fuest said. For overall economic stabilization, however, the reduced income from taxes and additional expenditure, especially for transfers, are desirable and necessary. Speaking last week, Mrs. Merkel, who it was today confirmed had tested negative for COVID-19, said during a live broadcast to the nation, the situation is serious. Take it seriously. Since German unification, since the Second World War, there has been no challenge to our nation that has demanded such a degree of common and united action. I truly believe that we will succeed in the task before us, so long as all the citizens of this country understand that it is also their task. I also want to tell you why we also need your contribution and what each and every